The darkness of my cell was all I knew. The cold stone floor was my bed. The damp air was my only companion. I waited for the heavy footsteps of the Roman guards. I knew they were coming for me. Death was my sentence. I was a rebel, a murderer, a man who had earned his end. I had fought against Rome, with fire and with sword. My name, Barabbas, was a curse whispered by my enemies, a warning to others. There was no hope left in my heart, only the bitter taste of defeat, and the cold certainty of the cross that awaited me. Then, the sound came. Not the sound of a few guards, but the roar of a crowd. Their shouts echoed through the prison walls. I heard my name. They were chanting my name. Then, a different name was shouted. Jesus, the teacher from Nazareth, the man who spoke of peace and love. The guards came, but they did not drag me out to die. Instead, they unlocked my chains. The heavy iron fell from my wrists. "You are free," he said. "The crowd chose you." Pilate offered them a choice, between me, the violent rebel, and the gentle teacher, and they chose me. I pushed my way through the throng, my mind a whirlwind of questions. I had to see him, the man who was taking my place. The crowd was a river of noise and anger, all flowing toward the hill they called Golgotha, the place of the skull, my place. Then I saw him stumbling, a heavy wooden beam digging into his shoulder. It was my cross. The rough splinters were meant for my back. He fell under the load. Roman soldiers whipped him. He did not curse them. He simply got up and kept walking. For a moment, his eyes found mine. There was no hatred there, only a deep, unending sadness, and somehow it felt like it was for me. Every step he took was a step I should have been taking, every lash, a pain I should have been feeling. The crowd mocked him. He saved others, but he cannot save himself. A sickness twisted in my stomach. This was all wrong. I was the fighter. He was the teacher, the healer. Why was he suffering my punishment? Justice was not just blind. It was broken. They threw him down onto the cross. My cross. The hammer rose and fell. Each strike was a blow to my own soul. I saw the blood. I heard his pained gasp. Still, he did not curse them. He whispered what sounded like a prayer. They raised the cross, lifting him against the graying sky. He hung there, between two other criminals, men like me who had earned their fate. He wore a crown of thorns instead of gold. Above him a sign, "King of the Jews." The soldiers laughed. The crowd jeered. I could not. I saw the nails in his hands and feet. Those were my nails. I saw the wound in his side. That was my wound. He was dying my death, and I was standing here breathing, living. The sky grew dark. The air turned cold. The mockery faded to a nervous silence. This was not a normal death. I saw his mother weeping, his followers in despair. They had hoped he would save them. Now their hope was dying on a Roman cross. He spoke from the cross, forgiving soldiers, promising paradise to a thief, crying out to God. His voice was weak, but his words were strong. He was not dying like a criminal. He was dying like a king sacrificing himself for his people. Then, with a loud cry, it was over. The ground shook. The sky was black. I knew this was not an accident, nor Pilate's mistake. This was a plan. He had chosen the nails. He had chosen the cross, and chosen for me to live. I walked away from that hill as soldiers took down the bodies. My freedom felt like a mystery I had to solve, a gift I did not deserve. It was paid for with the blood of an innocent man. The face of Jesus, sorrowful not angry, burned in my mind. He had looked at me and saw more than Barabbas the rebel, a man who could be something more, a man given a second chance. I went back to the city, but it was not the same. I was not the same. The old desires for rebellion felt hollow. Power? Freedom from Rome? Those things seemed small now. I had been given the ultimate freedom, freed from the death I had earned. What was I to do with this freedom? Could hands that held a sword now build? Could a voice for rebellion now speak peace? That night, I did not sleep. I kept seeing his face, kept hearing the hammer, kept feeling the weight of my freedom. It was a burden and a beginning. The sun rose, and for the first time I saw it as a gift. A second sunrise. A new start. I was Barabbas, the man who should have died. But I was alive. And in that light, something stirred that I had never felt before. Hope. I do not know if I can be a good man, but I know this. A man died in my place. He gave me his life so I could have mine. I cannot waste it, I must try. S.